Hey there, I'm Alex Kidman and these are the Skullcandy Method 360 ANC headphones. Let's get into the review. But before we start, a quick thank you to all of my financial supporters. Links are in the description below if you'd like to become a supporter of the channel. It all really helps. I should also note that these Skullcandy Method 360 ANC headphones were sent to me by Skullcandy. That gets them reviewed. Nothing more, nothing less. They have no editorial input, but I think upfront disclosure is really important. And finally, owing to some really tedious challenges that I'm facing today, this is going to be a slightly simpler review than my usual style. Sorry about that. There's genuinely not too much I can do about it. Skullcandy's design ethos has long been about being eye-catching. It's part of their kind of pitch to a more youthful audience, certainly more youthful than me, let's be honest here. But the Method 360 ANC, well, yeah, they really did catch my eye. And look, it's not hard to see why, because when you take this case out, well, I'll cut to the chase here. I'm not the only one that looks at this and goes, hang on, that looks like it's a pin I could pull, and does this bit explode? Am I holding a grenade here? Now, the answer is no. This slides up and the headphones fall out if you do that too hard. Let's take a quick jump cut. As I was saying, if you open these at a normal pace and they don't fall out, they reveal the headphones within. This is a big, bulky case, though, and that, apart from my not being really willing to take it through airports, and I'm not the only one, am I? Apart from that, that does, of course, mean that it's going to take up more space in a bag, although the point of this pin is that it is not, in fact, a grade pin, of course. It's a little carabiner loop, so you'd hook it onto devices. As I think I've just shown, though, I guess there is a bit of a concern there, because if you did have it hooked to a backpack or to your clothing or whatever, and you were doing some kind of intense physical activity or got shook around a bit, it can pop open, and as I just showed, they can fall to the ground. I mean, that was not genuinely scripted. I didn't want to disrupt my video that way, but it's a kind of proof of concept in a way. You do at least get a range of colour choices with your choice of black, which is what I've got, bone, leopard, plasma, or primer colours. That leopard sure is a choice. I guess some people will love it. Wouldn't be my call. The other design challenge with this particular case is that you have to remember which way is left, which way is right, because the idea is that you're going to open it from this backbone section of the case each time to get the orientation right. If you don't, you'll kind of be flipping them around for a little while. It took me a little while to get that because, generally speaking, I was holding it with the carabiner loop at the back, in which case they're actually back to front in terms of where they go into your ears. Not a huge critical problem, but a slightly different one from your classic kind of case design. Each of the Method 360 ANC headphone buds are on the larger side, with a notable Skullcandy logo on the body of the bud sticking out of your ear. Skullcandy provides a range of tip sizes for fitting, though I found the default fitted buds to be a fair match for my own ears. What about, though, for those who want to use these headphones for exercising? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, thanks for asking, Alex. Comfort over 5k runs, which is mostly what I do, has been reasonable with the Skullcandys. I've just been using the normal tips and they've felt okay. They are on the slightly larger side, if that matters to your ears, but otherwise they're holding up okay. In terms of water resistance, they're rated IPX4, which basically means they're sweat resistant. A little bit of light rain's not a problem, but you can't really go swimming with them. Not that Bluetooth works underwater all that well anyway. The Method 360 ANC headphones are Bluetooth 5.3 compatible, and you can just pop them out of the box and pair them up with your phone or with other Bluetooth compliant devices. That works just fine. However, if you want to modify how they work or update the firmware, you'll need the Skullcandy IQ app for iOS or Android. It's a free download, easy enough to set up and get going. In terms of controls, we're talking your classic touch controls to get things done. Now, I'm not a big fan of that because I just find it terribly imprecise. So to give you an idea, to access or change the active noise cancelling on these headphones, I'll get into the quality of that in a second, but to access that, it's a triple tap on a bud, and the issue there is, of course, a triple tap can be interpreted as a double tap. Sometimes I've had it as a single tap, so it's pause music or skip tracks rather than changing the ANC mode on me. I don't find those terribly useful or handy. I find them more frustrating. Of course, your experience and comfort levels with that kind of thing may vary. Speaking of comfort levels, the Skullcandy Method 360 ANCs are quite chatty. They'll tell you when they're doing things, and that's good, but they do so at a really loud volume all of the time. It's not nice to be shouted at, Skullcandy. It'd be really nice if a future firmware update could allow me to change the volume of notifications just down just a bit, just a little bit. It's a little bit on the punchy side. The big selling point for the Skullcandy Method 360 ANC headphones is that they're reasonably priced, $189.99 here in Australia, and they have audio tuned by Bose. So rather like the Motobuds Plus that I've previously reviewed, they should have superior audio to what you typically see at this price range. The short form here is, yeah, they do. The audio out of these is quite pleasant. It's a little bit by default pitched towards the bass side, but the Skullcandy IQ app does let you actually change those equalizer settings. I'd suggest toning the bass down a bit so you get more of the mids and highs coming through, but again, that does depend on your musical preferences. So while the audio is laudable, the other feature that these have is active noise cancellation. And here, yeah, it's present, but it's very much of the classic style that I would expect at this kind of price point. It's not totally unheard of to get ANC at this kind of price. And the thing here is that it works, it functions, it does cut out audio, and there is a pass-through mode so you can stay more aware of your surroundings, but it's not terribly strong even at maximum intensity. And whether or not it's tuned by Bose, I'm not entirely sure, but it's certainly not up to the best in the business, and I would count Bose as being one of the best in the business for noise cancellation. It's merely sort of adequate. It'll cut out a reasonable frequency of noise, but it's not got that full isolation that some people really desire from their ANC buds. How about microphone quality? Well, I can't exactly set up a full phone test because I don't run a phone network, but I can record audio to give you an idea of what the Skullcandy's microphone pickup sounds like, bearing in mind this was recorded in a reasonably quiet room. If you were looking for these to be your Bluetooth headphones for call making as well, this is an example of what their audio sounds like. This is obviously not over a mobile network, just recorded straight to my desktop. So you can get a picture of what the sound is like. It's okay. Certainly people are going to be able to tell that you're using a set of headphones or something similar when taking calls, but it's been clear enough for the calls I've had to take while testing these units. So I would call that sound serviceable. You could certainly make me out, but it's got that kind of artificial tone that you get with a lot of Bluetooth headphones. People are going to be able to tell you're on Bluetooth, certainly. Anecdotally, I had a radio station call me up for an interview and they immediately said, "Hey, you're on Bluetooth, aren't you?" And it's like, yes, I am. But for the call, I'll switch over to just speaking through my phone because the audio will be better that way. And yeah, that's the story here. You'll be able to be heard for calls. That's really the important thing here. Having a huge case like this, of course, gives the Skullcandy headphones better scope for battery performance because you've got a bigger case, you can put bigger batteries in there, and you've got bigger buds too. And that's pretty much exactly what Skullcandy has done. The claim here is for up to 9 hours of performance in active noise cancelling mode, or up to 11 hours if you switch it off. I still don't know why anyone would buy active noise cancelling headphones and not use active noise cancelling pretty much all of the time, but you do you if that's what suits you. In terms of my own testing, I'm typically hitting more like 7 to 8 hours. Obviously, usage patterns can vary that up a bit, but that's within scope of what I'd expect around a manufacturer's claims. It's a decent enough kind of figure. The case itself will provide around 2.5 charges. I would have maybe liked to see a little bit more out of such a large case. That's with active noise cancelling. Slightly more, of course, if you don't want ANC enabled. And recharging is via USB-C with a port at the base of the case, but there's no charger in the box. You'll have to supply your own. So should you buy these Skullcandy Method 360 ANC headphones? Well, look, they're not the cheapest in the pack, of course. I mean, you can get ludicrously cheap headphones. I have tested some of those before. But for their price, I think there's a really good balance here. The audio quality, while not quite up there with, for example, the best that Bose can make, is genuinely quite pleasing, quite good. Once you fine-tune it, I find. The default settings are maybe a little bit too punchy, or a little bit too punchy for my ears anyway. The battery life is generally quite good. The price is right. The The ANC could be stronger, so if you're after a set of ANC buds, I'm sorry, you've still got to spend a bit more if you want really top quality ANC, but it's certainly present if you only wanted that softer kind of level. So ultimately, yeah, these, while they're big and while I am still slightly concerned about taking them through an airport, these are recommended. And that's my review of the Skullcandy Method 360 ANC headphones. What do you think? Got any questions? Hit me up in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe.